Hello, I'm Robert Militia, Head Technical Support Specialist with BrainMaster Technologies, and right now I'm going to cover one of the greatest and latest features of the Brain Avatar 4.0 software, and that is panelWizard. What panelWizard allows you to do is, as opposed to sticking with the standard features and functions built into it, you can actually design your own screens, personalize them for exactly how you would like to train somebody. So I'm going to walk you through step by step the different ways that you can use this to design your personalized screen. So from here, I'm going to close the setup option screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, by going up here to File, Import Settings, a classic training file called Alert. This protocol has been in our software for years. And now I'm going to customize it in a special way that's specially designed just for you. Now we're going to start by shrinking the screen down so that I can kind of fit everything on the screen at once. Now as you can see, one of the things that you can do with the software is right down here we have these different tabs. So I'm going to double click on tab 1. If anybody has worked with Microsoft Excel before, double-clicking on a tab allows you to rename it. So we are going to now rename this Training. So now I know that this is the screen that I'm going to do all my training on. Now, the way that we activate panelWizard is when we go back down to the training right here, I'm going to right-click on it. What right-click is going to do is going to bring up your panelWizard menu. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of features on here. One is it shows every type of display that you have located on this screen. It also gives you its X and Y coordinates. That says exactly where it's located on the screen. As you can see, your X grid is going to be going from left to right. Your Y grid is going to be up to down. It also gives you the location of the width and the height of the object. Once again, width is going to be going left to right, and height is going to be going up to down. This also gives you options to delete those options or those displays right here, and it also gives you one of the newer options, which is also built into these, which is the menu. The menu allows you to pick and choose different things for that type of display that you want located in there. A couple other things that you're going to see on here are auto layout and show outlines. So what I'm going to do, just so I can start getting into the full designing of this, is I'm going to click auto layout off, and I'm going to hit OK. Now after I expand this list a little bit more, you're going to see now that auto layout, that where these boxes were gray before, are now white. What that allows me to do is now edit the different features and the different functions on them. So for example, if I use this highlight and I type 1300 right here and I hit apply, you can see the size of the graph or the size of this display right here grow in size. If I hit highlight this and type in 600, it's going to change the size of that graph right there. So this gives me the ability now to customize the screen as I see fit and how I want it to be laid out. Now, if you are very good as far as geometry goes, your X and Y coordinates and your width and height are going to be a great way to maneuver. But not everybody is that good as far as maneuvering things like that. Another option we have built in is the show outline box right here. What this allows me to do is if I click this box right here, as you can see, it's going to show the outlines for that. As opposed to showing it as a display, it shows these nice little boxes. These nice little boxes allow me to left click right here and then move the image to where I would like it to be located. If I click this box right here, it allows me to shrink and condense the display once again as I see fit. When I unclick Show Outlines, as you can see, we now have that graph showing in the exact same size that we wanted it to be on. So this is a very powerful tool and actually very simple to use. I'm going to now design a screen that allows the thermometers, a CSA, and training all to be displayed in one nice simple area, just all on my screen right now. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to delete the raw EEG, and then I'm going to see that we are at just train EEG. So what I'm going to do, because I personally do like to use a lot of the X and Y coordinates, so I'm going to move this up. So now we have our training bands that we're working with. We have 4 of them. I'm now going to bring up my menu. And when I bring up my menu, as you can see, you have a lot of different options. And the first one that's always checked is Use Tab Defaults. Maybe we want to make this a little bit more personalized, and we are. I'm only going to focus on the C3 channel right now, which is C3 to A1. So I'm going to uncheck that I display that, I'm going to uncheck that I display that, and I'm going to uncheck that I display that. A couple more information that I want to look at is I do want to look at also the RMS coming in, and I also want to look at the frequency. So as you can see, as I am changing these features, they are actually being applied right over here. The final thing I also want to look at while I'm looking at this is the raw EEG. So I will click that, and then when I have everything set up that I want to, I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, we now have our C3 to A1 raw EEG, our theta, our beta, and our high beta. So now I want to customize the screen so that I have a little bit more play with it. And the first thing I want to do is I want to bring in our brand new thermometers. And they're called Thermometer Contour. So I click that display right here. Now that doesn't look too good right off the bat, but if I click Menu again, as most of our new displays do have menus on them so that you can customize them to exactly what you want. I'm going to click Use Tab Defaults. And once again, I'm going to unclick everything except C3. And we'll leave our theta, our beta, and our high beta. And I'm going to leave it as filters. And I'm going to click OK. So now, as you can see, it looks a little bit nicer now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move this over to 1158. We're going to hit Apply. As you can see, it is now right next to that. Now, let's look at what we have here. We have a height of 388. Now, I do want to let you know that some displays you cannot change the width and height to. The thermometer contours is one of those things you cannot. It will always be whatever defined is as its height and its width. Should you change it, it's not going to display properly. So I'm also going to change this to a 0. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my train EEG to exact same height as that, which is 388. When I hit Apply, we are now going to see that the train EEG is the exact same height as the thermometer contour. So now you have a nice, easy way of looking at all that information right here. The final thing I want to do is I do want to bring in some new displays. One of them being the CSA. And as you can see, it's always going to start in the top left-hand corner right here. That allows us to then move it from there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move it down to 393. Now you might be asking why I'm doing 5 off of whatever these numbers are. That gives you a little bit of room for proper placement so that you aren't just hovering right on top of the image. You're hovering just a little bit off, and it just is it's a nice little bit more flowing that way if you just do it in that fashion. So now we're going to change our width and our height, and we are going to change our width to 1478. And we are going to change our height. Let's see. You know what? Actually, this one I am going to use our show outlines, because as of right now, it's going to probably be a lot easier if I just stretch this all the way to the bottom.